What's up, guys?
Oh, is this going on Valerie's vlogs?
Just.
Wow.
Yeah. This is an important part of history in our junior year right here.
And it's cold.
It is cold.
We invented protesting. I'm just kidding.
Oh, okay.
I love you, girl. Let me back in because they're over $1,000 for it. So fucked up. Huh?
Is this something I feel strongly about? Sure thing. That's why I'm still doing it.
You're a real one.
Is my dad gonna yell at me? Yes. I love how Vivi was like, oh yeah, the walkout. Wait guys, hold on. I need to take roll. So cute.
Angel, was that Vivi?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like,
I need to take roll.
I need to take roll. I was like,
She already took roll. What you doing?
I think she meant like write down the names, I guess. I don't know.
Apparently she's for it.
Yeah, I heard that too.
I don't know.
Yeah,
She
that
meant
she
by
was-
take roll. Like,
She doesn't support.
That's what I said.
Oh, I love this blue color scheme.
Yeah, because I'm that influential. Unlike you.
Do I know any colors?
God damn it, Val.
I got.
Okay, so this is my idea for the picture. So I'm gonna be like, have no hair.
it's cold ish, not like intense.
They all have like warm ass ladies.
Luke Enrique's
Get off
cold.
of me.
Excuse me.
Yeah, right before I left, I was like, yeet. I'm just not cold.
Don't feel me, I'm a pop.
Okay, but the thing.
Emily told her, I was in tutoring yesterday, and Emily told her, she's like, Miss Dickerson, I'm gonna be walking out during your class tomorrow. She's like, okay, sweetie, thanks for the heads up. And she was like, I'm just trying to figure out like how I'm gonna get my lesson plan and everything for y'all. And she was like, I'm trying to figure out a way to where I'm not like showing that I'm supporting anything because I'm an administrator and I'm supposed to be doing that, but I also want to make sure you guys stay safe and don't get trampled.
Oh, it's over.
From my stop any altercations. We don't want any sort of like fighting going on. We're here to stand. Stand united. Okay.
It's passing period.
Moment of silence. There's like volume buttons on the speaker if you can press like the up button. I don't know if you've already done that, but yeah. But also I can project. So the phones or the speakers? I don't know. No, I think like, can you take this? Cause, like, if, yeah.
No, I don't know how many there are.
Okay, close first. Okay. I'm introducing the walkout, and I'm holding.
I knew you did it.
Okay. All right. Oh wow, that works. Okay. We're about to get started. I'm gonna introduce this. So, hello everyone. Welcome to our National School Walkout. I'm gonna try and keep my speech from blowing away. If you don't know me, my name is Erica Howlett, and I'm a sophomore at Comm Arts. I really want to thank you all for coming. It's really exciting. We got a great turnout. And of course, I want to show my immense gratitude towards the wonderful people who planned this walkout with me. They're around. We've worked very hard, and it's been really amazing to work with such passionate people on such an important project. As I'm sure you know, gun violence is an issue that has plagued our nation for an inexcusable amount of time. About 2 months ago, yet another school shooting occurred in Parkland, Florida. Is it hard for you to hear with the speaker, like repeating me like after I say it? Is that causing an issue? Should we just like, we're good, you're good. I'm just gonna keep going, okay. About 2 months ago, yet another school shooting occurred in Parkland, Florida, killing 17 students and teachers and wounding many more. Of course, many of us probably weren't surprised, as senseless gun deaths have become something we're accustomed to. However, I think many of us were not expecting what came next, this movement. The survivors of Parkland have done something important, something which frankly should have happened a long time ago. They have mobilized passionate young people around the country, and they have turned our grief and fear into anger and determination, ending our powerlessness and bringing us into a movement that should have been getting widespread attention a long time ago. Our walkout today is part of something bigger, the National School Walkout movement, and they have a couple goals in mind. We are here to call attention to gun violence, to advocate for reform, to hold representatives accountable, to educate you on the issue and help you get involved, to reject the idea that more guns is what we need, and to remind the world that teens shouldn't fear for their lives every day, or plan escape routes out of buildings, or have nightmares about getting shot. Pointless deaths by gun violence have infiltrated so much of our lives. We see it in schools, movie theaters, neighborhoods, with the police, all over. That has affected everyone differently, and it plays a part in domestic abuse, institutionalized racism, mental health, suicide, and other issues. We're here today to stand with new and old activists of all classes, races, ages, and communities. And I know this is a highly contentious issue. I know some people simply don't understand our teen activism, but nevertheless, we're all here today to advocate for change, for better legislation, and to put an end to whatever apathy or greed or ignorance it is that plagues our lawmakers. We are here to say these things before no one is left, and we're going to call on the human decency of those in power and ask them to listen. The issue has accelerated in such a way that silence is unacceptable, so we're here to raise our voices. Today, you and I and thousands of students have come together united, not only to honor the victims of gun violence, but to support activism in all its forms and make sure the world knows that we will not wait any longer and we won't stop until every person is guaranteed their right to survival. That's why we're here. So I want to start this event off with a moment of silence to honor and remember the thousands of people who've been killed and wounded with guns, especially in the 19 years since Columbine. I want to honor, of course, those killed at Parkland and the school shootings which have occurred since then, the victims of Sandy Hook, of the Pulse nightclub, of Las Vegas. I wish that I could stand here and tell you the names of every person that's been killed by guns, but we'd be here all day. Of course, as students, our safety at school is a particular concern. As today is April 20th, I want to remember the victims and families of Columbine, a tragedy that is 19 years old today and no less appalling. The debate over gun control should have ended instantly that day, but here we are almost 2 decades later. I want to mention personally the Virginia Tech massacre, a tragedy that occurred in my hometown, Blacksburg, Virginia, when I was 5 years old, on lockdown in my kindergarten basement. These are just a few of many incidents, and I think it's absolutely crucial that we take time to reflect on these horrific losses, remembering and respecting the people we advocate for, those who've been touched by gun violence, all of whom deserve to be here, living, breathing, and advocating with us. So please, join me in taking this moment of silence. It's a message about passion and dedication, and I respect everyone here very much who's doing their best to support this movement, regardless of anything else that may be occurring. Because that's not what we're here for. We're here for the victims of gun violence, we're here for a cause that we believe in, and anything else shouldn't matter to us. So I hope everyone here today will be inspired, and I hope you don't let the fight that started a long time ago end today. An important part of change is unity, and we can't forget what and who we're fighting for. If I've learned anything from simple outside observation in the past 2 months, it's the beauty of resilience and courage in ordinary people. So keep fighting for your ideals and keep fighting for the people and causes you hold near to your heart. Thank you guys so much for being here, for supporting. And remember, you can share any photos or videos with the hashtag National School Walkout and get involved by texting walkout to 643-36, 643-36. And you will hear more calls to action through the next speeches. So pay attention, get involved, and I hope we change the world. And now Thank you guys. This is on Adams.
Okay, my name is Ann Adams. I am a sophomore at Comm Arts, and I'm here today to talk about the one thing everyone here might be afraid of: politics. If mass shootings and daily gun violence aren't gun problems or even mental health problems. We need to implement universal background checks, raise the age of purchase to 21, eliminate the gun show loophole, and ban assault rifles and buckshots. These methods work, and it is proven time and time and time again by Finland, by Norway, by Australia, but most importantly, Japan. Japan has the voice or privilege as my peers and I do. We have to acknowledge this disparity and do something about it. The time is over for people of color to be murdered senselessly in their own homes and then ignored when they try to create change. We have to use our privilege to amplify their voices because they are the ones who experience gun violence on a daily basis. I will not stand for the blatant murder of students, children, and people of color across our country for the sake of greedy politicians and NRA blood money. I will not stand for being afraid to go to school or to a movie theater or to a concert or to a store or anywhere. I will not stand to be ignored by those in power. I will not stand for the acceptance of people of color and people of the LGBT community being targeted by gun violence every day. I will not stand with the fact that black men have to say, "Don't shoot!" to the people. However, I will stand for change. I will stand for a revolution of teen voters who will vote them out. I will stand to protect my friends, my family, but most importantly, my fellow students. And I hope that you will stand with me.
Anything and say that thoughts and prayers are all we need. No thoughts, no prayers can bring back what's no longer there. The silent are damned. The body count is on your hands. Smile for the camera. Another politician bought. I swear I heard another shot. Cash another payment. Red all on the canvas. It's murder on the campus. Another press conference. Nothing gets accomplished. The suit is an accomplice. Money is the motive. The war is in the street. Watch history repeat. They lobby for the violence. It's a governmental shakedown. Welcome to my breakdown. Bulletproof backpacks. They want to arm the teachers. I think I saw the Reaper. Fear's good for profit. Deregulate the casket. They're lying to the masses. How much will it take till you get buried in the coffin that you make? No thoughts, no prayers can bring back what's no longer there. The silent are damned. The body count is on your hand. Turn off all the lights. Nobody make a sound. Ashes to ashes, we all fall down. Are we out of time when we turn this all around? Are we out of time when we all fall down? Who will be next?
All right, everyone. My name's Stephanie Escobar, and I'm the scariest thing to Trump, a brown woman.
That's you, though.
This is for my Taft kids. We are here outside of our schools to speak out against gun violence in our nation. Too many people have been harmed in the past year alone, and our politicians, mind you, the one in charge, are allowing these murders to continue by doing absolutely nothing about it. My family has been affected by gun violence in the most recent year. With Sutherland Springs, my family was good friends with a man by the name of Brian Comm. Brian, as well as his kids and grandkids, were killed as a man armed with an AR-556 walked into a church and began shooting at the congregation. A place of worship became a place for bloodshed that day. I was raised by my parents to be a fighter and to always speak my mind about issues I felt needed to be mentioned. At 5 years old, I walked with my father downtown, chanting the words, "Si se puede." I always walked with these immigrants, with everyone, and trying to spread a message out there to our politicians and to our Congress. Now at 17, I stand out here with all of you and many others in the nation to speak out against gun violence and to say again, sí se puede, la lucha sigue. I'm pretty sure all of you have noticed this paper on my wrist, as well as others around our school. These represent what our lives are worth to Texas politicians. Pete Sessions, he's taken over $150,000 from the NRA already. If you divide that amongst every student enrolled in schools, public and private, total about 5 million, we are equal to only 3 cents a piece of our lives. Trust me, New York has it worse. The change in my pocket right now is worth more than my life standing here right now. I'd like to take a moment to thank the adults who support this movement. As I went to March for Our Lives on the 24th, I saw so many adults, seniors, and everyone there supporting us and supporting our youth. That means the world to me. As well as the parents who told us to come out here today, and to those who said that you would get grounded. And to the teachers who encouraged us and told us to come out here and speak our minds. Thank you. Now to the other side, to the staff and teachers and admin who threatened us and said that they'll do whatever they can to keep us from coming out here and speaking our minds. A specific orchestra teacher and what are you doing about it? What the hell are you doing about this issue then? Tell us, you are the adults. Tell us what we should be doing. Our message to our legislators: stop spreading thoughts and prayers. If you'd like to keep your job, shut up and listen to us for once. Finally, to our politicians who will refrain from commenting on this walkout and will continue to pocket blood money from the NRA, we have a message for you. Either follow Paul Ryan or we'll see you in the polls.
Here in Cots, and before I start my speech, I want to just tell you guys I'm so proud of you. I was tearing up seeing the hundreds of students coming out here. I wanted to cry, and I'm about to cry right now. So I'll start my speech. How many more does it take? How many lives have to die at the hand of a shooter? How many more minutes of silence do we have to honor to the fallen before the government does something right? When will I have a chance to live my high school years without the fear of an unscheduled fire alarm going off in the middle of class? When? Because we have been forgotten for decades. We have been swept under the rug for years, and we have been silenced with thoughts and prayers for far too long. Not this time. We are the present and we are the future. Even with the hundreds of adults screaming at us to sit crisscross applesauce and be good little kids, we walk out side by side and protest. We decided to take action because our future that is at risk. These are our peers that are in danger of seeing their last moments staring at the horrified faces of their friends. These are our last text messages being sent to our parents. As our shaking hands text, there is a shooter at my school. I love you so much. No more! We are not going to sit behind screens watching the news and sit in the sidelines anymore. Because in a few years, I will have to face the world of left and right wings. In a few years, I will be faced with the reality that my actions today will affect my younger brother's life. So I will proudly fight in this revolution. I will fight so we will never have to hear another mass shooting on the television. We fight so we never have to go to school in fear. We fight so our parents know that it is safe to send their kids to school. We shout never again. Never again will we have to be pushed off to the side. Never again will we let the government brush us off. And never again will we let our lives be the target of another shooter. Never again.
I will be speaking, I'll be reciting a speech that my good friend wrote. And so yeah, it's not genuine for me, but I believe in everything that she does. So, it's good. Okay. I believe in the power of a memory. And I believe that the right memory will return to you when you most need it to. Lately, I've been remembering my childhood growing up in Houston. Trying to write this speech, I found myself disturbed by all the things I've forgotten. Most particularly by a shooting that occurred in a beauty salon right outside the neighborhood I've grown up in. It was only through remembering that I realized how entrenched in gun violence we are as a society, to the point where it seemingly surrounds us on all sides and lurks in places we associate with safety and comfort. I want to say, most radically, that I believe in a world without guns, the same way some believe in a world without poverty, or a world without disease. I also believe we need to acknowledge that we are a country built on gun violence, that all previous colonies are, that our identities as Americans are tied with gun violence, and that the society we live in today wouldn't exist without gun violence, specifically the gun violence of the imperial powers that colonized the world years before we were born into it. We must also acknowledge how, as Americans, our national opinion on guns influences that of the rest of the world. America gives millions in military aid to Israel every year, a state which actively oppresses Palestinians and other minorities through the use of guns, most famously shooting the cousin of Ahmed Tamimi, which led to her standing up to Israeli police and becoming the face of Palestinian resistance. Most guns in Mexico come from the United States. And from my personal experience, I know that shooting on my street when I was a kid was less likely to happen if the United States wasn't so fucking lazy. These parts of the world that we call developing. The Middle East, the Global South, are largely at fault of what we consider to be the developed world. We shouldn't dare call ourselves a developed country where we still allow tragedies like Parkland, Sandy Hook, Virginia Tech, Columbine, and countless others to happen again and again. We're the only country in the developed world where this still happens. When we look at countries and their problems, widespread hunger, disease, etc., we also need to look at how guns play a part in their society. We need to do the same for our own, in order to end the streak of violence in our nation and continue on with removing the plight of gun violence from the world. I would like to end this by adding a few quotes. First by a woman named Ursula Le Guin. We live in capitalism. Its power seems inescapable. So did the divine right of kings. Any human power can be resisted and changed by being beings. Persistent and change often begin in art, and very often in our art, the art of words. What I want you all to take from this is that though gun violence seems like a fundamental part of our country, that doesn't mean it always needs to be this way. I also want you to take from this that change begins here. Resistance begins here. What we're doing here, no matter how seemingly insignificant, is a start. A beginning, one that this country desperately needs. The second quote I will be reading is by Donna Tartt. I have something very serious and urgent to say to you. That life, whatever else it is short. That fate is cruel, but maybe not random. That nature, meaning death, always wins, but that doesn't mean we have to bow and grovel to it. That maybe, even if we're not always happy to be here, it's our task to immerse ourselves anyways. Wade straight through it, right through the cesspool, while keeping eyes and hearts open. But this means that we cannot be disheartened and must be aware that we have an uphill battle ahead of us in fighting for gun reform. And that even if this doesn't feel like our battle to fight, we must anyways. Because if we don't, politicians and lawmakers, whose job it is to keep us as a society safe, will continue to fail us. Lastly, what I want is for you all to remember this day with nothing else. And I want those of you that helped organize this event to never forget what you did, the endless planning it took to make this day possible. I want you to carry this memory into local organization and use it to keep pushing for gun reform. I believe in the power of a memory, and I believe that the memory of this day will be one that we pass on to our children, our grandchildren, children that hopefully live and grow up in a world without fear.
Yes. Adri, I need you to unlock her phone. What? I need you to unlock her phone. Yes. So, I want to dedicate this poem to that. It's my personal poem. It's called To Kill a Gun. Guns. They have become the sleepless immortals in our country. The instrument leading to too much blood spilled. The goodbye 17 students didn't get to say. The mommy guess how my day went. 28 children didn't get to ask. Because how does one kill the immortal? How does one kill a steel weapon protected by an acronym that stands for nothing but ignorance? A weapon that feeds off tragedy, followed by a cycle of thoughtless thoughts and prayers and silence. Because killing me is easier than cutting the life support on an inanimate object. Because it seems that a good portion of America caught a bullet between the teeth by the name of ignorance. Because votes are not only worth millions of dollars, they're worth the lives of my peers. Because this is an adult issue. Adults. Plural. If this is your issue, why haven't you done anything? You helped pull the trigger. Because all the troubled teen and poor orphan excuses come cheap. Because my generation is so easy to brush off and dismiss. Guns may have become immortal, but you're not. And they won't remain immortal. So watch us rise. Because to kill a gun, we'll stand strong. To kill a gun, we stand together.
Go Victoria!
Can you hear me? So as we heard, my name is Victoria. I'm a senior at Comm. I really want to say thank you to a lot of the underclassmen that really helped start this. I know I see a lot of upperclassmen here today, but I think it's really great seeing people who are younger than us taking the initiative, because it is so scary to stand up for what we believe in, especially when people tell us it's not important. What I want to talk about is yesterday in the Comm Arts AP government class, we discussed whether or not we need more gun control in America. One of my peers that's notoriously pro-gun said after the debate, you'd be surprised how much you think there's this much distance between us when really there's this much distance. But when we look at Congress, there's a lot of partisanship. So if we can agree in our high schools that we do need gun control, even people who are pro-gun, we have to call into question why our politicians are not making any type of change. That's because they have money in their pockets. We have to take steps to vote these people out. Many of you may not know, despite the fact that you're not 18 yet, you can register to vote. So I urge you to go out and register to vote. Texas makes it particularly hard to register to vote, but we also need to take into mind that we also need to vote out those politicians that make it hard for us to vote. I also want to address an issue that's come up a lot from our peers and from our teachers.
They say that peaceful protest doesn't do anything. But then I have to ask them, have you ever taken a history class? Like time and time again, but peaceful protest does work. This is one protest. We have to keep doing more. We can't let this movement die out. People still talk about the March on Washington in 1964. And I hope that people are still going to be talking about the protests that we see today. Peaceful protest has proved to work. From hundreds of years ago to today. We see people like Paul Ryan stepping down. We see senators like Marco Rubio starting to turn around their opinions. So now we can call on Will Hurd to help change his position and help properly advocate for his constituents. We can help bring change in America. We also have to recognize the importance of local politicians because we have to start at the local level and move our way up. It's important that we are being represented at every single level. Although letters do work, it is organizations like this today that really help bring change in America. I urge you to keep doing your work today, using social media, despite the fact that adults make frown on social media, and see it as a way for us to just waste our time. But it is a way for us to communicate with each other and help spread ideas. And I really like to thank On for talking about the minorities in our community, because many times they're ignored in the media and ignored by mainstream protesters. So it's important to include all voices. I've been in debate for 3 years, and right now I'm still shaking and my voice is still cracking because I'm so scared. But that's okay. We support each other, and it's important to use our voices. Thank you for coming out today.
Can you guys hear me? My name is Kirsten Wilkins, and I am a senior at Communications Arts High School. What I'm going to be reading to you guys today is a letter that I wrote to John Cornyn, Ted Cruz, and Joaquin Castro on February 20th. So some of the information is kind of like from February 20th. Okay. My name... Oh wait, I just said that part to you guys. I write to you in the pursuit of stricter gun control, the elimination of the gun show loophole, and the elimination of any other loopholes I am uninformed of. Today, February 20th, in the aftermath of this year's 30th mass shooting, my English teacher told my class, since our door opens outwards, we won't be able to barricade it, so keep that in mind. And then proceeded to point out the best hiding spots in her room in the event of a shooter. She recommended using our desks as shields, as if an AR-15 wouldn't be able to shoot through 1-inch thick wood, and as if an AR-15 hadn't proved itself as a successful deadly weapon at Sandy Hook, Las Vegas, San Bernardino, California, Sutherland Springs, Texas, Aurora, Colorado, and Parkland, Florida. She gave us this advice following the announcement from our principal that a threat to my school had been made earlier this morning. Obviously, we as students were worried about what could happen. The images and videos from Parkland at the forefront of our thoughts, but our principal had told us that the threat was likely not serious. I still had to text my worried mom, though, that I was all right because she had seen the threat on the news. Because of the threat, my school had more police patrolling the campus, and some of my friends' classes were interrupted so that a dog could sniff for guns. Students weren't allowed to go through our building's side entrance because the doors had been locked as a precaution. As my friends and I took the long way to our next class, we discussed whether or not we planned on participating in a walkout to show the country that gun control matters to us. We don't want to die. We don't want to become another statistic, and while we appreciate our campus's precautions, the precautions only lessen the lives lost. Lives will still be lost if all the shooter has to do to overcome these obstacles is go through the front door instead of the side door, or shoot through a desk on their way to us. The only way to effectively guarantee safety in this scenario is to remove the gun from the shooter, and as that is almost impossible to do while the shooter is actively shooting, it stands to reason that making it more difficult to obtain a gun in the first place should be the preferred method of guaranteeing student safety. Something I have to be afraid of is the fact that teenage victims from Parkland and teenage people all across the country have to be the ones who lead the nation about the national conversation about gun regulation is ridiculous. The fact that we live developed country but still have 30% of the world's mass shootings is preposterous. I am appalled that some members of Congress care more about funding from the NRA than they do about children, about me and my classmates, and about the entire nation. Every one of the 17 killed could have been saved if Nicholas Cruz hadn't been sold his AR-15, a mass shooter favorite, in the first place, or if the background check had revealed his propensity to violence. Our nation's laws allowed him to obtain the murder weapon, so our nation's laws need to change, and soon. I urge you to please do something, or at least try to do something. Every moment of inaction is a moment that a mass shooter can and will take advantage of.
Okay, after fall, let's do just another round of applause called Keep. So much for being here, and I love them and all the things they said. So what we're going to do now is we have flyers and tags, which I believe people explained before represent the amount of money our representatives taken from the NRA. We're going to pass those out. Some of you already have them. And we're going to pass out these flyers. They have a lot of great information about the movement, about the Taft Walkout account personally, about the Chief for Change organization started by Alexa Baez, who is somewhere, which is doing a lot of great stuff. They have like movements coming up. You should definitely look at that. There's a lot of information on here, and you guys will see that when I give it to you, so I don't know why I'm telling you, you can read. Also, this is for Comm Arts kids. Actually, I think Taft kids should do it too. Yeah, no one's going to stop you. So we have Earth Day today, and there will be a booth in, which room? Mr. Clark's room, where a junior at Comm Arts will be starting a booth with information about registering to vote, which is very, very important. Hannah? Yeah. Hannah Punjabi? Yes. Support her. And there will be information about your representatives, about policies. Even if you're not eligible to vote yet, or to register, you should definitely go there and like start getting information, because voting is one of the best things we can do. Of course, this is really important too. I was going to start talking about and like tags we spread around. I know we might not have enough for everybody, but we're making them available to follow from Twitter, and we will provide you with flyers and everything. So thank you guys so much for being here, and thank you for caring about the movement and keep pursuing it. Thank you for fighting public causes. And remember that when elections come, even if we can't vote yet, we will vote them out. We're going to start winding down the event, and it is 10:48. We want everyone to be heading back to class by about 11. You know, still feel free to like talk to us and like get the flyers, like, and ask any questions you have and all that. But we want to go back to class in an orderly fashion and be as peaceful as we can. And I know it's a concern among Taft kids that they might be locked indoors, but we have information that is against policy and it's against your rights. So if they are doing that, there's going to be hell to pay. Thank you.